Yeah. Oh my God, things have to be talked about so badly. Why did Sunday football really piss me off more than I would have never thought it would, as it should have been somewhat of a relaxing day? But man, the Eagles have got some issues. The Eagles have a lot to prove for specific reasons. And let me tell you something. This is the worst coach football team in the entire league. And man, if these problems persist even more, God help us. God help us.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
If I'm the betting man, and I am, and you're rooting for the Philadelphia Eagles, this is the redemption year for Jalen Hurts. This is the year we get the bad taste out of our mouths from last season. If I'm going all in, ride or die with a Super Bowl and bringing that Lombardi trophy back to Philadelphia for a second time, you need to go to BetUS, and I'm not wasting any time with it. I'm putting $500 down as the risk and getting $7,000 back at the end of the year because this offense is going to be explosive. This defense by Vic Fangio is going to be dynamic. A 150% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000 with code YouTube150. Click the link in the description below. Start betting and start winning. All right. A lot had to be said today for a lot of reasons. Okay, you're going into week 6. I have got to say, where are we at as a team? Where are we at as a coaching staff? Where are we at as owners, as GMs, as front office members for the Philadelphia Eagles? Where are we at right now? Because let me tell you something. I knew watching Sunday's games was going to piss me off a lot more than I realized because I know I was going to get jealous of other teams and how they're running things and why do some teams just look better than us? There are so many teams out there right now that have less on paper, less offensive weapons, less of everything, less quarterback, less of everything, and it just seems that there are teams out there just make it make sense when it comes to play calling, when it comes to specific things in certain situations in game. Because I had a lip. I'm stressed out. A lot going on. So how do we jump into this situation? Okay. The New York Giants were fighting, and they won. The Washington Commanders, man, do they look good. Jaden Daniels. So many changes in 1 year. New GM, new owner, new head coach, new coordinator. New quarterback, rookie quarterback, $90-something million in cap space for Washington. So many new pieces, but yet in 1 year, they're able to get things together. Good coaching way behind it. Good leadership by Dan Quinn. Treating the players like they're men, leading men out to war, to battle on the field. And 7 sacks on the Cleveland Browns today. Jaden Daniels looks great, using all his weapons. Guess they didn't need Jahan Dotson. Nyamni Brown seems like a great number 2. Alamati Zaccheaus, fantastic player that the Eagles never used that much. Really pisses me off when things are happening like this. And there's only so much time where it's maybe between the Eagles and the Cowboys in the division for so many years because really the Washington Commanders, or before they were the Redskins, haven't done shit in a long time. They haven't really been successful since, I guess, 2012. I guess it's been a while. Okay? The Cleveland Browns, one of the worst offenses in the league. Deshaun Watson is the most pressured quarterback. Okay, between Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns, the Carolina Panthers, the Jaguars that got their first win, the Cleveland Browns, man, once Deshaun Watson once he starts scrambling, it seems like everything ends up in a sack. The line is really bad. The defense, I felt they did well. I thought the defense for the Browns did well in the first quarter, and then they really fell apart because their offense really couldn't sustain drives for that long. And Washington were just bullying them all fucking day. All day. And then I see the Giants and Seattle. And the Giants, let me tell you, Daniel Jones played really good. He had some drops from Wan'Dale Robinson. They didn't have Devin Singletary, no Malik Neighbors, no excuses, no bullshit, no nothing. And, besides the fumble from Daniel Jones, I thought he played really well. I thought he fought really well. Thought the Giants defense came to play, faced adversity when it mattered. It is really hard for me to say that the Eagles are... They could probably be a top 5 bottom team of the NFL right now if this doesn't get fixed. Coming off this bye week, the Eagles have 2 weeks to get this shit straightened out. To get ready for the Cleveland Browns in 2 weeks. Okay? The problem I'm going to have right now is that I don't think much is going to change. Yes, you're getting Devontae Smith back. No, yes, you're getting A.J. Brown back. Sure, you're getting Lane Johnson back. Things should look a lot better than they do right now. But let me tell you something. The way that defense played last week, and I know that the defense will not play like that every week. I have more faith in this defense than that damn offense for a lot of reasons. Because I don't feel like the play calling is going to be given to Kellen Moore 100%. And here's what I think. If this is not a Nick problem, this is a Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie / pushing those analytics type problem where if Nick doesn't work out, okay, if Nick does not work out, they're going to hire the next young yes man type coach that we've never heard about that barely has a reputation in the NFL because he will listen to what the Eagles front office and ownership want them to do. Okay, this is why the Eagles can't hire guys like Brian Daboll or some coaches that the Eagles did call about for the head coaching job a few years ago. And you wonder why some of these fucking other head coach candidates wouldn't take these phone calls because everybody knows how the Eagles run things in the organization. Okay, I don't even know if you give this 2 weeks at this point. If they lose against the Browns, or like if they win 10 plus points, I guess I'll be happy. If they win by 1 to 3 points, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it, but say, hey, it's a great win. But really, at the end of the day, God, I just feel like they will play down to the competition. I'm seeing guys on short down yardage, running when they have to, giving players a shot when they have to. Make it make sense on specific plays, on certain downs, whatever, middle of the field, red zone, you name it. I see Daniel Jones in a rhythm. Jaden Daniels looks fast, looks accurate through his first pick, but, adversity hits and they just don't seem to get throttled too much. This has got to stop with this team because I'm already on board with Nick getting fired already. I'm already done. I'm not getting fooled like everyone got fooled last year. Five games in, I finally realized that this offense wasn't run by our actual OC, okay? The only constant in this organization has been Nick Sirianni. And let me tell you something. If Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie are fully involved and let this thing go, and let this, as they've been letting this thing happen with this offense every fucking week. Every week they've been letting this happen. If they lose against the Browns, they lose against the Giants, I mean, you still got the Bengals, you still got the Cowboys, the Jags. I mean, seriously, you would think this team would be 6-2 the next 4 weeks. But the Eagles just don't make things easier. They haven't scored in the first quarter since the Cardinals game. They haven't dismantled a team offensively, dominated since the NFC Championship in 2022. They haven't done anything really in a while. It's been close, ugly wins, but now they're not winning those close, ugly games anymore. now everything's really starting to show full circle. So as I was watching games today, this is like, here's are the examples. It's like from Howie Roseman's drafting from your second, third, fourth round picks, who is on this field right now? I think there's been a dilemma with the drafting because I'm sorry, but I'm seeing way too many other teams using their second, their third, their fourth round picks are on the field, playing well, coached up well, and we just can't seem to get it right. We seem to say to ourselves, you know what? Yeah, let's get rid of our best pass rusher. Let's take our scheme and put it over the players. You know what? These players, they're meant for a more aggressive scheme, but let's put them in a more, passive scheme for them to do. Take players out of position, pay the wrong guys, and we'll just go that direction. Because this just doesn't work, in my opinion. This defense, I just can't stand it. I saw some physical football today. A lot going on with this team right now. And the Cleveland Browns, I think, is the very first, probably the best test for the Philadelphia Eagles. They're coming off a bye week, so hopefully don't look like shit. But the coaching staff has 2 weeks to get prepared. The coaching staff, 2 weeks to get prepared for this game against Cleveland next week. And I'm telling you right now, like, if they lose this game, it pretty much should just be over. Because the Giants are a better team. The Giants looked really good against Seattle. Okay, they looked very realistic. I'm not just gonna talk shit. There is no shit from any Eagle fans. There is no shit to be talked about when it comes to other teams. This is one of the top 5 bottom feeder teams of the league right now. 100%. No, it's literally like you're giving somebody a Bugatti and you have the less person of the bunch driving it has no idea how to drive that car. That's what it feels like. It feels like I got a PS5 Pro for Christmas and I have no TV, but I have to imagine what it would be like to really put my skills to the test on the PS5. I feel like this roster, or the way they build this roster, is all show. No work is put in. The right things aren't being done. It's all flash and all substance. That's all it is. Howie makes these trades and makes these moves and drafts these players, and we get all excited about it. But what they can actually do with some of these players, they can't do a fucking thing with any of them. And I'm especially talking offensively. I saw on paper, that's what the Eagles look like. On paper, they're one of the best rosters. But I'm sorry, but this has been the same problem nonstop every fucking year. Shane Steichen was the last offensive coordinator that has been successful with this team. And honestly, if Nick is still here till week 9, say they lose the next 3 out of 4 games and Nick is still here, this is a front office problem. And guys, if that's the case, and it's Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie, and these analytics that they are pushing, this team is not going to be good for years. That this team might need to fucking rebuild. It's stupid because you locked up A.J. Brown. You locked up all these players. And I know this quarterback, there's the tale of Philadelphia and this civil war going on, and everyone always has to take one side. Is it Nick? Is it this? Is it that? Is it Hurts? It's back and forth bullshit, back and forth. Okay? There's enough on Hurts's plate to say that, yeah, he looks horrible. There's a whole lot on Nick's plate to say, yeah, the rest of your roster looks really bad. They're not playing to their top capabilities where they can play at because this coaching absolutely sucks. And I am ashamed to actually give support to this team because of that ownership and that weasel GM that we have that probably have a big take into what Nick is doing and why Nick is being in this collaborative way with Kellen Moore, not given the keys to this offense. We're not telling Kellen Moore to take over the draft. We're not telling him to take over anything possible that interferes with Howie Roseman. What we want Kellen Moore to take over is the offensive play calls, and that is it. Because what I saw on these Sunday games, I can't tell. This has to be the worst fucking team I have ever seen. It's only week 5, going into week 6, and this is how bad we look. We thought maybe it was the offseason program. The offseason program, Nick's offseason program. We had minicamp, the practices, just, not playing guys in preseason. We thought that is the least of our worries. This is, I think, in my opinion, this culture is damaged. If players don't have that top mentality playing in games while they're getting their ass kicked, it's a fucking problem for me. There's probably 5 or 6 players that really need to play coming off this bye, and I know about 2 or 3 of them probably won't, and with the rest of them, they probably could be in the rotation or end up in this game like Cooper DeJean, like Jalix Hunt being in the rotation, and some others that could return later on that could be available going down the line. But I would say, yeah, let's have hope. Let's do this. Let's do that. I understand all of that. But guys, I've had enough of this shit. We're coming off a bye week now. And guess what? We're going to watch that first series and say, holy shit, this team was not even fucking prepared. And if they lose against one of the worst teams in football this week, I think you got to pull the fucking plug. I think you got to blow it up. Not saying with the roster, saying with the coaching staff. I think you got to blow it up. I think you got to blow it up right after the game. I think something really needs to be done here before it all falls apart. Because this is not good. This is not good. I think there's a little bit of a struggle here between what we kind of went through last year, and then finding hey, the Eagles don't make any more moves, don't make any more trades, don't waste your fucking time. If the front office doesn't do right by what this team should be doing right now, if they're letting Nick through week 5 already do this shit constantly, they're gonna let him play. They're going to let him coach the rest of the season like this. Why is this bullshit even allowed? I'm hoping this is just a Nick Sirianni problem because no fans like him. He's a fucking fake. He's a fucking phony. He's, you want to stop Jalen Carter from being locked in because he trolls the Saints at the end of the game, and you have the balls to stop him from all of the flaunting, trolling bullshit you have done on the sideline to the KC tunnel. I don't even want to hear it. You have no right to stop a player from being himself unless he's going to be violent towards somebody else. That's a different story. But he is the last one to talk. Nobody likes that guy. The fakest fucking coach I've ever seen in my life. And the lying bullshit this offseason regarding him taking a step back from play calling. Let Kellen Moore having more control. Yeah, that didn't last long. Do I think it was happening? Yes. Do I think it was happening for long? No. Nick Sirianni cannot help himself. So if this is more of a Nick problem and this is a Howie Jeffrey Lurie analytics problem, then we are going to be fucked for years to come. This team will not win a fucking thing for years to come if it's up to Howie and Jeffrey Lurie and they're allowing this to happen. And if Nick does get fired, Kellen Moore becomes the interim head coach for the season and they want to switch head coaches. And if I even see a coach that is fucking hired that literally has done nothing reputation-wise, he is a yes man, yes sir type coach that is going to listen to the analytics and what Jeffrey Lurie and Howie want. That is the only question I have, whether it's between Howie or the front office. What are their conversations every week? Why is Nick allowed to do this every single week? I still don't get it. I still don't know. But watching football, it didn't make me realize anything. I've known this since the season really started. Okay, after the first game, I felt really good because I felt like, they played on a bad field. They scored 34 points against a really good team. I don't see any other teams really falling apart that fucking badly. I see a lot of quarterbacks that are getting into rhythm, a lot of quarterbacks that have good weapons around them, utilizing all of the weapons. Seriously. Even the next 2 weeks, the Browns and the Giants. And the Browns is your biggest test because, man, we kind of want to prove to ourselves that are we the worst team in the league? Is that even saying much at this point? Deshaun Watson did nothing on third down. Deshaun Watson, and that one of the worst offenses I have ever seen. And the Giants fight adversity. Daniel Jones looks great. You know, no Malik Neighbors, no Devin Singletary. Other weapons have to step up in this offense. And I'm just being true to it all because that's what I saw. And I give them props for it. Because when I see the Eagles play the total opposite of that, not knowing what to do, making Jalen Hurts pass over 30 fucking times without your two top receivers, let Saquon Barkley run only 10 times, using Gainwell more, no mesh concept, no slants, no high route, no crosser, no. I mean, it's ridiculous, dude. Like, how many more weeks of this can we fucking take? So that's all I really got to say. I don't want to keep repeating myself over and over again, but this is like, man, I got more aggravated as the games went on. So it's like, man, you know, I don't really care if I'm watching the Commanders, you know, Browns game because I need to know, like, I need to see this matchup so badly because, you know, I think it was good to watch because I haven't really watched the Commanders that much personally. And number two, I really want to see what the Browns look like the week before they play us. So I thought that was a perfect matchup. But I'm not relying on teams to get beaten. I'm not relying on the NFC East to fall apart. What do you think I want to sneak into a first seed? You can't do that. You can't sneak into a division win, a division title. What you think this team is going to sneak into that? Can the Eagles prove me wrong? Because honestly, guys, like, I'm going to watch this team and I support this team. But man, because I'm pissed off, if I'm not throwing shade at this team, that means I really don't care if I wasn't doing this. But I am every week. If they win by 5 points against the Browns, it won't be a big deal. If they score 25 points, 22 points more on them, they score, you know what I mean? If they dominate, I'll feel a lot better going into the rest of these weeks that there is somewhat of a turnaround. If they play okay, not too well, stupid decisions by Nick, stupid decisions by the play calling on both sides, and they win by 3 points, nothing to shake a stick at all. It's nothing that I'm going to commend them on and say, oh yeah, they got the win, but who cares? Like, you know, that's where I'm at with this team. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. That's all I'm going to really say. We'll have more videos throughout the week. If you subscribe to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Eagles news every single day. I told you guys last year that I'm not getting tricked over anything this year. I am going to be very critical about this team this year. I don't care if it's a little win with a 2-point winning by 2 points in the game. They're going to get fucking criticized, mauled. I don't care how it happens, but I don't care anymore because I'm sick of watching this shit every single week. And my voice is nothing to nobody, so I get it, okay? We are just their product. We make them money. We go to their games. We watch their network. We pay for every fucking thing. They can give a shit less. But all we could do is put our voice out and say, this is what we like, this is what we don't like, and give out our opinion, try to be the voice of reason in some sense to maybe they will start to pick things up. But the gist is, if Nick fails this fucking game against the Browns and the defense looks hard, I mean, everything just looks horrible, and they lose against one of the worst 1-4 teams that's around right now, we're in trouble. And if Nick is still here for another 3 weeks, they win 3 out of 4. They lose 3 out of 4 games, and Nick is still in the building. That is the front office just letting him do his thing. Don't fuck this season up until it's too late, because that's where, you know what I mean? That's where you really don't want to do that. And then it just showed that you really didn't care, that Nick didn't get reprimanded enough. I just have a feeling in my soul, in my mind, that that Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Luria have a lot to do with this. And if that's the case, man, I'm hoping I'm fucking wrong. But if that's the case, man, this generation of this fucking franchise is going to go down the fucking tubes. Every year, we're going to look like this every fucking year. Telling you, it's not going to be good. That's all I got to say, guys. That's all I'm going to put down. I'm sorry. I apologize for the long video. This is just how I feel. I was pissed off watching. I didn't even enjoy football today. Everyone's like, oh, the Eagles aren't playing. Oh, it's like, oh, who cares? Oh, yeah, so let's watch other teams be successful. Let's watch the NFC East win over our fucking heads this week and feel good about it. Because you know what? The Giants could beat us. The fucking Commanders are going to be the number one team coming out of the NFC East if the Eagles don't fucking pick their shit up. Because I'm telling you right now, the people I feel really bad for are the fucking fans, and I feel really bad for some of the Eagle players like Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown coming back, and literally they have to save this fucking team. So that's where I'm at. Fuck Nick. This play calling. Do I think it's going to change coming back from the bye? You honestly think that it's going to change that much? You think that Nick is going to take a step back? Let's not be fucking stupid here. If he does, great. But realistically, do you honestly think that's going to happen? Probably not. Are they going to run the ball more? Is Saquon going to have more opportunity over Kenneth Gainwell? Can they stop with the same few plays they've been playing every single time? Stop throwing shit in the same spot. Stop making things look so obvious. Use middle of the field. Stop with the 4 fucking verticals while Jalen Hurts is in shotgun and has, seriously. And this quarterback has got to stop turning over the fucking football and losing it. The turnovers have got to stop. Quick. Because that Browns defense is going to get after it next week. Doesn't matter. They played good for probably a quarter. It went back and forth defensively for a while. But it all came down to the Commanders offense. 1 missed tackle on Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin, downfield. 1 bigger exception. Austin Eikler, I think it was the second quarter. I forgot what, second half, second quarter, I forgot. Austin Eikler, 1 run coming out the break, boom, other side of the field. It literally came down to just these big sporadic plays that came down the line, and the Browns couldn't hold their ground. And that offense, I think Kevin Stefanski, I think he's a really good coach. I don't think it was his decision to sign Deshaun Watson. I don't think he was ever involved in that at all. I think he was given that quarterback and he was just there to coach, and I don't think he's got the right quarterback over there. 7 sacks for Washington, 7 sacks for the Giants. Can the Eagles get 7 sacks against the fucking Browns next week? Probably not. Can they get a pick? I'll take 3. I'll take 2 picks, 3 picks over fucking 7 sacks. Why not? Fucking disaster, man. That's what this shit is. And I hope they fix it, but don't tell me I told you so. That's all I got to say. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Let me know what you guys think. Unveiled, guys, go in the comment section and just let out how you feel about watching football. And where do you think this is going? Do you think the Eagles are prepared? This puts more pressure on them. I'm not going to be one of those fans that's like, I hope they lose. I want to see Nick crumble. I'm not like that. I want Nick fired so bad. I really need to see this team lose every week. No, I want them to win every week. If they win the next 4 weeks, but horribly, I could deal with it. But, things have got to change drastically. And the number one thing is getting your weapons back that have been out. We'll see what happens. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.